home building and remodeling show. Let's go. Welcome everybody to the home building and remodeling show. My name is Chris Kirby and I'll be your host. I am the owner of 3 construction companies on the Alabama Gulf Coast. The show is about residential construction. We're going to cover topics of home building and remodeling. Are you thinking of doing a remodel or building a home? Are you a contractor looking to improve your knowledge base or grow your business? Have you ever done a remodel project or built a home? There were so many things you wish you knew or that you could have done differently during the process. Then this show is for you. We break down the process of building and remodeling and how to have the best results during your project. Whether you're a DIYer looking for tips, someone looking to hire a contractor to do a project, or a contractor looking to expand your knowledge base or your business. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Stay tuned. We kick off the show with my thoughts on home building and remodeling. I'll share best practices and talk about some of our experiences in business and out in the field. These shared thoughts and lessons learned are meant to help you on your very own journey. Let's go. So, effective problem solving. In the contracting industry, there are going to be problems that arise on a job. It's inevitable. All your jobs aren't going to go smooth. How you respond to adversity, how you respond to delays, all of this stuff dictates how the relationship is going to go moving forward. If you build that trust and confidence, then they are more likely to trust that you're going to fix problems as they arise throughout the project. Some of the problems that come up that we've seen are material shortages, your subs being delayed, your people being delayed, you accidentally poked a pipe. Some stuff like that happens on every job. There's going to be a little something that occurs, and how you respond to that, how you respond to the adversity, and how you build confidence with your client if you're communicating every day is going to dictate what happens when a delay comes up, when a problem arises. They want to know that you have the resolve, you have what it takes as a contractor, as a contracting business to take care of the problem in a timely manner. But even if it's not in a timely manner, your response to the situation is going to dictate how they feel about your project moving forward. They will understand and be more likely to be understanding if you've communicated, if you've done everything that you could possibly do and the delay was inevitable. There's unforeseen circumstances that cause delays. And if you've already built that relationship, then the client is going to trust that you can handle that delay. A key element to your success when you're doing a remodel project or a home build is being able to gauge the client's needs, being able to understand and stay ahead of their decision making. Once you build that relationship and you really understand the client needs, it's going to go a long ways, not only when problems arise during a project, but in making sure they trust that you can make decisions without them and for them in their absence. And that right there is critical to the time that a project takes and decision making during a project. There are so many decisions that have to be made during a project or during a home build. So if they trust that you know what you're doing and that you're going to come through with your word and that you're guiding them and you're talking to them and you're being open and honest, you're communicating effectively, they're more likely to let you guide them during the project. So they don't delay decision making. You're a couple of steps ahead of them when asking them to make selections, when to make decisions. And if they have changes, you're communicating effectively on what the change entails, how long it's going to take, how much money needs to be spent for that change. All of those things are a part of understanding the client needs. And now we move into shop talk. It's the portion of the show where I bring in a co-host and we cover trending topics in home building and remodeling. Hope you enjoy. Let's go. So typically in home building, there are two types of contracts, and we'll do a whole show about contracts later, but we use a fixed fee contract. And the reason that we use the fixed fee versus the other type of contract, which is a cost plus, is because there's multiple reasons. One, the bank likes a set cost to build a home. Two, we do the fixed fee with allowances, which means we typically don't make money off the allowances. You can shop the details of your home with those allowances. We give you a budget with a good, better, best. And then three, you as the client know your cost to build.
Correct.
Right? The cost plus is where we give you a rough number to build the structure of the home, $175 a square foot, and then the house, is 1,000 square foot, so it's $175,000, and we're gonna have a fee of 15% on that. You do the math, whatever 175 times 15 is. That guarantees our percentage. However, if the cost of the home build goes up, our 15% of 175 turns into 15% of 180, turns into 190. So it could look like we're incentivizing driving the cost up. One reason I don't use that cost plus contract. Then the second reason is because when we do a fixed fee with allowances, we help you shop that thing through. But on the cost plus, the client is really wanting to do a cost plus so they can shop this thing out. And what that does is delay the build. Correct. So when we do the fixed fee, we give you allowances, you pick those items out, we order them, we know our timelines. Other way around, if we're relying on you to really kind of pick items and shop around, it causes so many delays during the build process. So it's a little bit harder. I will say, I believe there are more cost plus contracts out there right now due to the market, and that should be kind of getting reined in because it was very hard on us as a company doing fixed fees during the COVID era with the supply chain issues. We took some hits and lost some money on some builds, right? And it was very tough. So a lot of builders have changed over to the cost plus so they can guarantee a return. Anyway, okay, so now that you know what type of contract, we move forward with the discussion on how we estimate. So we did the foundation, framing, windows and doors. That's usually for the labor. It's a cost per unit, right? Per door unit, per window. And then we also, on the allowances, we kind of take an average of our builds, a regular window versus an impact. And then we say, okay, you've got 20 windows at X amount. Here's your allowance for windows.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, say you got 10 windows at $500.
Sure. That's
for a good level builder's grade window, impact resistant or non, whichever. And so you'd have $5,000.
Yep.
$5,000 would be your allowance in that case. Same goes down the road. We do the same thing for doors. We do for your trim. So every little line item has an allowance that we allow the client to actually make the selection.
Gotcha. And kind of these lines, you just kind of move on down, and we don't necessarily need to go through every line, but what you do is you use your past builds and past projects as a frame of reference, and that's really how you come up with your cost to build on the construction side. On the balance side, those numbers, we revamp those every now and then. We just totally revamped our system and offer our clients a good, better, best. Can you tell me what that's about?
Well, I do break it up into a good, better, best. It gives them the option to...
What is good, better, best? What does that mean?
Good, better, best is you take items and you start out base like a builder's grade product.
Sure.
Say, for instance, a sink fixture or
now,
a faucet.
Clarify this, and this is what I really want to hit home. Builder's grade is a good product.
Correct.
That does not mean we are degrading the quality of our build by using a builder's grade product.
Correct.
That means this product is basic and it's more affordable.
Correct.
Okay, so that's what the good is, and in builder's grade you might hear that type of stuff. And yes, our good level is a good home build.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then you step up to a better product. Obviously, it'd be like you maybe do a little more quality of a faucet, and then you've got a best, which would be a higher end. And then we do give the client an option should they really want something out of the park.
Yeah.
Like a luxury item.
Right, and that's kind of how we consider it. So we've got good, better, best.
Correct.
And then we've got luxury, because there are certain items that we can't put a price on. These clients can really choose to go haywire with stuff and we just don't know the cost. So if you got it, you got it. We give you that. We just don't put a price in that category.
Exactly. And I mean, it gives them the option, because I mean, it's, if you go in there with a set fee, and some of the track home builders that are building around us,
Yeah, production guys, production builders.
They
Yeah,
literally, you may have, A or B selection.
sure.
And this gives the client the option, not necessarily of a A or B, but you've got a category where you've got a general, say for a faucet, it might be $75 or even $100
Sure.
for a good. That gives you an option of 10, 15, 20 different options within that. So you're not set on A or B, brushed nickel or antique bronze.
Right.
And it just gives them a little more selection. They can more customize that house.
Yeah, and what it does is it puts them in a budget.
Correct.
Right? So they are getting to truly select these items, but they're being put into a budget so they know. And sometimes they're going to care more about the faucets than the hardware. So they may be in multiple categories.
Correct.
I want the best master bathroom, but I don't, give me basic hardware throughout the house.
Correct.
Different things like that we kind of try to work through for them to either save money or, again, get what they want regardless of the money. It's truly custom home at that point.
Correct. And it always helps to have the client select their section prior to doing an estimate. If they have the opportunity to go through these line items and select, in a kitchen, I want my kitchen, that's where I'm going to spend a lot of my time. I want a higher end level of cabinets, a better sink, better appliances. We may not use this spare bathroom. Let's go with a basic sink and stuff in that. So it gives them the option to make those selections, but it also helps me as an estimator when I have that information. I can be more detailed, as I was talking earlier. The more information I have, the more accurate that estimate is going to be.
Yeah.
And the smoother that pre-construction up to the build is going to be.
Gotcha. So we've now put together the cost of construction, the builds. Those are kind of your set, structured, fixed costs, which is, HVAC, plumbing, framing, foundation, all of those types of things. Labor for windows and doors and floor coverings and all that. That's into your construction costs. Then your allowances are all the things that you have, that they are going to make selections on. And you kind of take the construction cost, the allowance cost, and then we have some optional items, that sometimes they want to get all they can out of the money the bank is going to give them. So they want, okay, go ahead and throw a fence in there. Go ahead and throw a pergola in there so I can get it mortgaged in. And so we have this optional add-on section. So when you add all of those things up, off of the details and specs from the plans, and then that client meeting that we do, it gives us that number, that final number, and they can take that to the bank and stuff like that. Okay, so that's a little bit about how we operate. We estimate. Pete spends, how many estimates do you think, since I turned it over about 2 weeks ago, how many estimates do you think you've worked on so far?
I've probably been on, I would say, probably close to 15, going back on some that we've already been working on.
15, which is good for a custom builder to be working on that many in this market, because we were definitely kind of leery about the interest rate and stuff like that. But here on the Gulf Coast, we're in a bubble, so it seems to be steady, and we're always looking at how we can help the client. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about our estimating process, what we do. So really, that initial phone call, you kind of set up a meeting with the client. You go to their site, look at the site, so you have an idea of how to work the foundation and stuff like that. And then you sit down and, well, you'll connect them with the architect, get the plans drawn, and then you're able to kind of give them some more hard numbers. Correct. And then once the engineer, really, we try to wait till the engineer is done, because they may change the structure, add cost to the engineering, make things a little bit different. So once they're done, you can really give them that hard, here's your number, here's how much it's going to cost to build the home. Correct.
And any time before that, I mean, you got clients that are going to come in with a hand-drawn plan for themselves. And that, even though it does help us, those are still going to be rough numbers.
Sure, very rough, right? Because what our architect does a very good job of, and if you're local, use the guy. Even if you're not local, he can help you out. Does a phenomenal job. His name's Rob Winter. What he does a good job of is detailing the inside, as well as not just giving you elevation drawings and floor planning and stuff like that, but the scheduling he does, the windows, the cabinets, the doors. He does the 3D virtual walkthrough, so the clients can kind of see the house before they get it. He does a very good job of that, and that helps the builder. That helps us right price and estimate and bid this thing properly. Okay, Pete, I appreciate you talking about estimating. Now we're going to move into the portion of the show where we talk interior design. We're going to bring in an interior designer, and we're going to talk trending design and products. Hope you enjoy. Let's go.
Which is funny, because I'm kind of going through the list. I'm like, yeah, I did all of this before we flooded for Sally and had to redo everything. So
you were making these.
I was already making these. Yeah. So when we moved in our home, we did have solid oak cabinets, with a pretty dated granite countertop.
Yeah.
And it looked more like a cabin. We're down here on the coast, so I wasn't really feeling that vibe.
Right.
So my first change in that home 13 years ago. So I painted the cabinets, then I changed the hardware, and then I changed the lighting fixture. So I did a big chandelier, a pretty good sized chandelier over our island, and that alone, even I think it was like $300, and it made such a difference. The lighting, and that's something too that you don't have to be extremely. You can go to YouTube University and learn how to change that out. So
YouTube University, I love that. I love that. Now this YouTube stuff people can get carried away. All of a sudden, you've got a bunch of experts who are like, "Well, on YouTube, this is how it's supposed to be done," true. And you're like, "Oh, thanks, Christy."
I take that back. Just find a Kirby podcast on how to change the light fixture.
No.
Have you done that one yet?
We have not. We need to do that, right? How to change the light. Okay. Yeah. It's educational. Yeah. Okay. So, and we were getting back to kind of the cabinet situation. So there's painting, but a lot of people don't know this too, but you can actually just remove and replace doors.
Yes.
And so that right there can be a simple fix rather than removing and replacing the entire set of cabinets.
Absolutely.
You can do just doors. And again, we're not talking about the cost of these things. We're just talking simple items that do not require an entire remodel or gut or plumbing move or any of that. But yeah, so actually getting new doors for the cabinets.
Shaker is so popular right now.
Yes.
And so for people to switch that out would make a big difference for sure.
Yeah, but you know what I've noticed too is that you said Shaker is popular, which it is. It's hugely popular. And over the last 7 years for us, we have installed so many white Shaker cabinets. I'm starting to see a transition now to where people are going away from that. Like our farmhouse build we did in Fairhope, she had hunter green, and I was like, I don't know. But when they came in, it was. It really was. So
pretty.
it was a hunter green, full set of hunter green. I really am a fan of the navy blue for obvious reasons. Go Navy.
Hashtag Navy.
Yeah, there you go. But I'll say this, and we were talking about the gold. That gold against that navy blue looks good too. It really does.
Yeah. The brush gold. Yeah.
But I think what she had the hunter green cabinets in her kitchen, and she had the darker knobs and pulls. So it went well together. And then she had a solid white quartz countertop, and it really looked good.
Right.
But I was kind of iffy because cabinets can be expensive, and then all of a sudden her whole kitchen we ordered hunter green, and I was like, how's that going to look?
Actually, Jen painted those, didn't she? Or were those ones she? Okay,
no.
There was another one.
So
that
there
she painted
is another one now.
that
right
was
here,
really pretty.
Yep, and those are now hunter green. So I think that's kind of another color that people are gravitating towards. But you've got hunter green, you've got the navy blues. Have you seen any other colorful cabinets?
The beiges are.
Oh, here you go with this.
The beiges
beige.
are coming back.
Listen,
the gray's going out.
I cannot
Even
believe
if you're sticking in beige.
Beige. I cannot believe beige is back. Listen, I don't know. I'm disputing this because here's the thing: like everything goes full circle. Like the gold coming back, it's kind of full circle. Right. So beige, really beige? I thought it was gray. I thought gray is what is good. I paint everything gray, dark gray, light gray, neutral colors. Right? That's just I know that's the construction in me. That's the ease in me. But beige. That was the neutral color of choice.
It's got to be done right, though. It's got to be done. Accessible beige is a great color from Sherwin-Williams.
Okay.
And
but what do you pair with that? So, like when you're
an off-white.
Okay.
Or you can do the green.
Yeah.
You can do another
green.
That when you're talking to color, though, you can also just paint your island if you have one.
Sure.
And just do an accent. Basically, treat it like a separate furniture piece in a way.
And I've seen some of that in kitchens. So you're saying where your wall cabinets, right, and your base and wall cabinets may be one color, and then the island is a different color.
Right. So if you don't want to paint your whole kitchen, but you want to add some change, just do the island.
And then that's more affordable. Anytime that you're painting less, so you may be able to hire a painter. They come in and they give you that $15,000 quote on the whole kitchen, but they're like, well, the island will just be $5,000. Well, that does make a big difference. Right. And then I've also seen this. Tell me your opinion on this. We not only did the island, so we did a whole home remodel in Fairhope, but she had all of her wall cabinets were white, and then her island cabinets were gray, and she had 2 different countertops as well, 2 different colors. And I was like, I don't know. It looks so good. I'm always shocked at sometimes, and again, I'm no designer, but some of the choices they make, I'm like, I don't know. And then we install it, and it really looks good.
Right. Yeah. I think I didn't see that house, so can't really have an opinion about it, but I do think
I'll show you pictures.
The size.
I'll show you.
The size of the space matters, and how much is actually going on in that environment to, or in that space to have that much different. I mean, because if you already have different metals, if you already have different countertops, if you have different paint colors, it might be a little much, but some people might prefer that.
Well, and what it was it was a 1,500 square foot house in the Fruit Nut District, and they had a galley kitchen, and we kind of opened it up. We blew it completely open. We redid the stair location. We did a lot of work there, created a landing and stuff, but yeah, it definitely in such a small home. When you do open concept, it really creates a whole different environment. Right. When you walk into a galley kitchen, it just seems small.
But the walls are trending back too.
So what do you mean there?
They're bringing back the walls.
So galley style, you're saying? Really?
It's a roller coaster ride.
It is
Gotta
a
stay
roller
with
coaster
it
ride. They do
for
this
10 years anyway.
They do
Until it changes
this.
again.
It keeps us in business.
It does.
Like, you know, if they don't do this, and then
I
they're
think
like,
Pinterest keeps you in business.
that's true. And then if they don't do this, if they're not, you know what, we've opened it up. Well, let's close it back. Well, let's open. If they don't do that in cycles, right? The industry or you interior designers are like, oh yeah, closing that kitchen back up in style. Now all of a sudden you've got work. We've created
right,
work.
That's true. That's true.
So it's
and
just
the cycle goes on.
That's right. That's right. And product innovation too.
Right.
Right. So over the years, there's been, you know, different types of product that have come on the market that people gravitate towards as well. So, and you know, to be honest with you, some of the stuff, some of the materials are expensive, but then there's also inexpensive alternatives, especially in the kitchen and bath industry. We're starting to find stuff like the LVPs. That you can get a good quality LVP and it's just not near as much as real hardwood or, you know, LVT for tile, and it's not as expensive. The maintenance piece on some of this stuff is so what we're seeing in the bath industry, and I know you've seen this too, is the Onyx system, right? Where, and for me personally, if I do my bathroom over again, my master, I will do the Onyx. And again, it goes back to cleanliness and maintenance because I love the look of a tile shower. It's nice, but to be honest, the Onyx is friendlier to clean and to maintenance. So, and they're starting to make it with design.
Right.
So like
they have a lot of options.
They do. And it's not just plain, you know, like Culture Marble was just solid.
Right.
Right. You may have a swirl of marble, but other than that, it was solid panel.
Yeah.
And this, you do have the solid options, but you also have the like shiplap and subway tile where it's just stamped really.
Right.
But it comes in as a whole piece. Right.
Yep.
For installers, it's a lot easier too. I mean, you're essentially standing up walls, right? You waterproof and stand up walls and put in the pan,
right?
Instead of stacking grout, right? So some of this stuff is becoming more cost effective. The maintenance is better, and I think going back to the simplicity of getting that dream kitchen with simple changes, do some product research.
Thanks for joining us today. As always, we are grateful for our listeners and your continued support. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media via Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Get more info at our website, www.thehomebuildingshow.com. And as always, remember who we are, the Home Building and Remodeling Show.